Hello, fiber friends! Welcome to the Pretty Twisted Yarns YouTube channel. My name is Teresa, and I am the owner and dyer behind Pretty Twisted Yarns, where I dye, self-striping, and other types of yarn. This is my little corner of the universe where I talk about yarn and all the things you can do with it. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. I love and appreciate you. If you're new here, welcome to the chaos. This is my third try this evening, which is Thursday, July 14th. Third take, guys, third take. Oh my goodness. When I say shenanigans, like, it's for real. I don't know. I can sit down on Instagram and go like Instagram live. I don't want to say without a hitch, because like, you know, shenanigans still happen. For whatever reason, when I sit down to record like a proper podcast, it's like something will happen the second I hit record. It's so funny. And two, I'm like telling my husband, I'm not gonna edit. Like, I just don't really enjoy editing video that much. I'm not particularly like good at it, and I'd rather be knitting or dyeing yarn or something. So at this point, whatever happens, happens. The minute I say that, I'm waiting for like the sky to fall, like I'm Chicken Little. Okay. Anyways, oh my gosh, that's a tangent. But what I was gonna say about going live, it's so much easier for me to just go live. And but I know not everyone has Instagram, and I love my YouTube family and community. And listen, if I get to 1,000 subscribers, there's gonna be a huge giveaway, and then I'll be able to just be like, I'm going live, buckle up. And just whatever happens, happens. So all your support and love means the world to me. If you find me somewhat tolerable, please consider subscribing to this YouTube channel. I appreciate it. Thank you. Let's look at some yarn. You guys, July 14th, summer sock camp started on May 28th. And my only goal was like to knit an entire pair of socks. Well, not an entire pair. Knit the body and foot of a sock on 9-inch circs. I was not gonna do ribbing or like try to do a heel or anything like that. And I've gotten this far on one sock. All right, so I cast on with magic loop, which is my usual way of casting on, German twisted cast on. And I was like, I knit the ribbing, 2x2 ribbing for 20 rounds. This was the mini that was inside the March Yarnable box, dyed by Lori of Arkansas Yarn Co. And then this beauty was in the Yarnable June box, the skein in the Yarnable June box. Kind of an unexpected pairing, but I really like it. I got this far. You know, I switched to magic loop, did the heel flap it and gusset and everything, and got this far. And I was like, I can knit on 9-inch circs. And I don't know why it's so slow for me, because other people who knit socks, who are, you know, sock knitters, they're like, oh man, yeah, once I, you know, started getting the hang of 9-inch circs, it went really fast. And I feel like as a self-proclaimed sock knitter, I should be able to do this. And I can. I just don't wanna. I don't know why. I always want to do something that is like the hardest thing for me. Once I get into a bit of like a rhythm, I can do it. It's just fiddly and awkward. I can't do it without looking, which I don't like, because I can magic loop without looking, and so I can watch TV or do whatever. And part of me is like, put it on magic loop, finish the sock. No one's holding you to this like thing except yourself. But I don't know. If I haven't given up in life already, I don't think I should give up on this sock. You guys think I should? I think I should just finish it. instead of toss it aside. Because the yarn is beautiful. I was having a great time knitting it, obviously. I have way too many of this kind of sock where there's one and it's like, you know, not even a hoe. It's like 3/4 of a hoe. But beautiful yarn. I'm going to still try to finish this by the end of summer sock camp, which is August 31st. Yeah. And, you know, I would have already been done a long time ago had I not cast on 5 other projects. Goodness gracious. One of the shenanigans that happened was my cat, who's staring at me right now, Coconut, came in here, started some kind of meowing going on, and then my husband made me like ugly laugh, like laugh so hard for like 10 minutes that my nose is all red and my cheeks are all red. Whatever. It's fine. Okay, well, I have a finished object. It's not in that bag. Oh my gosh, I had thrown it on the floor. It's fine. I'm just gonna pick it up because listen, I can't try and start this over again. I really cannot. All right, well, I have a finished pair of socks. In my world, they're finished. In the real world, probably not, because there's all these ends which need to be woven in, and that's not a thing I do. I just kind of go like this, and I just go, it's done. Like that. I just go, hey, listen, I don't know what you're talking about, ends. This is fine. Perfectly fine. Right? Oh, I guess I should also probably take my stitch markers off. Whatever. But listen, this is a colorway that I dyed. I dyed this yarn, this colorway, on some DK weight. And then I was like, ooh, I really liked it. So I had to dye it up on sock weight yarn. And I had been seeing Kay, the crazy sock lady, knit these scrappy, stripy socks. And I thought, oh, how fun to take all of these colors that are speckles, like heavy speckles, break them down, dye minis, and then knit a scrappy, stripy sock. And I think all the notes for how she does this are on her Ravelry project pages, but it's basically just like a vanilla sock, but for the leg, using minis or scraps. I did, and I believe this is what's in her recipe too, 8 rounds for each color. But then I did like a palindrome, because I've been kind of obsessed with palindromes lately. Knitting them, dyeing them. Cute, huh? So we'll talk a little bit more about this colorway in shop news. Yay! I gotta take pictures of these and block them. Possibly weave the ends in. Anything could happen. I don't have anything else finished. No, I sure don't. Another whip that I have, and this is also like a sock set that I dyed, and I have in my shop right now. But, you know, we'll talk more about shop news toward the end. Okay, so for summer sock camp, well, not for summer sock camp. I dyed an exclusive self-striping colorway for Crazy Sock Lady Co. that is only carried and found at Crazy Sock Lady Co. called Pretty Crazy, and it's self-striping, and those are the stripes. So I took and dyed minis of every color of the stripes, and then I dyed a full skein of just a bare yarn with black speckles. How cute. Some of you guys have gotten this. It's so cute. So this is going to be another scrappy, stripy sock. And this is how far I've gotten on it. So not quite done heel flap, but I'm magic looping it, German twisted cast on, 2x2 rib, my usual MO. Oh yeah. And on here, on this one, I am knitting over all my ends because I was like, I'm not even trying to, I'm not even trying to deal with all those ends. Nope, no reason. And then here's like all the minis, but I'll show you the sock set at the end of the episode. But yeah, all of that project is living in my very first Mountain State Stitches project bag. This is a project bag I got from Crazy Sock Lady Co. By Mountain State Stitches. And it has s'mores, and it has roasting the marshmallows and cute mugs and campfires. I love this bag, you guys. Definitely will not be my last project bag from Mountain State Stitches. There may or may not be something kind of cool and fun and fresh coming up with Mountain State Stitches. I don't know. We'll see. I'm just putting that out there. Anyway, moving right along. Ooh, what I want to show you next. So, oh, I know. This is another scrappy stripy sock that I did in a palindrome. This is another colorway that I dyed with this like recipe in mind. This colorway is called Orange is the New Black because, yes. This is on my sparkle base with Stellina, which is extra super sparkly. So I dyed a full skein of these speckles, and then I just did 2 minis, an orange and a black. Alternated them, did my little palindrome. Have my cute little progress keeper right here from the Naughty Knitress, because Halloween all year. It's almost spooky season. It's like Shark Week spooky season. I don't know what happened to like August, September, which is horrible because Haley's birthday is in September. But listen, it's almost August, which means it's almost October, which means it's almost September, which is practically October, which means it's almost Halloween. So, here is the cake. So it's kind of like, it's got like yellow, orange, pink, black, but it's, upon looking at it, very like Halloween-y. Orange is the new black. And it's in a project bag by Stitching Plaza. This is a Beetlejuice project bag. I love it so much. And I wanted to show you guys something pretty cool. Okay, so I have 2 sparkle bases because, yes please. These are the minis that I dyed for this sock set, which is also in my shop, which I keep saying I'm going to do at the end of the episode, but keep bringing up. I don't know. It's hard, you guys. I get distracted. And I'm trying to, like, not give up. I'm trying not to, like, use my lack of, like, editing skills to hold me back. And just kind of, like, show up as my authentic self. I don't know. And I don't want to sit here and be like, I'm a hot mess, because I'm trying not to be, like, mean about myself, but kind of a hot mess. Okay, here's what I wanted to show you. These are the minis that I dyed. I got these ties. These are, it's flagging tape. And I think there is some nylon in it because this black is a very saturated black. There's a lot of, it's a 4% depth of shade, which is a lot of dye per grams of yarn. A 1% depth of shade basically means 1 gram of dye per 100 grams of yarn. So it's a very solid black, which looks great with sparkle yarn, yeah? But nylon, Stellina is metallic toned nylon. It is not metal. There's nothing metallic about it. Being that it's nylon, it can and will take on some colors. The Stellina in this did not get stained or dyed, but the tie did, because the ties are bright pink like this, and it got purple, which I thought was pretty interesting. And then this is an orange with silver stellina, and you can kind of see where it reflects and kind of almost takes on that like gold tinge. So it's not gold stellina, it's silver. But I like playing with like the yarn as the canvas, right? Like certain colorways look so good on certain yarn bases. And if you think about it as like your medium or your canvas, it's super cool. And it almost reminds me of like doing makeup, where a certain skin tone or a certain like eye shape will look good with a certain technique on a certain shape of face or whatever. So a lot of times when I'm dyeing yarn, I get super lost in like the art of it, and I start out really like scientific and taking notes. All my self-striping are repeatable. Most of my colorways are repeatable. Sometimes I just like stop taking notes and I ditch the gloves and I just dig in, and then by the end of the dye process, my fingers are like indigo. That happened. But it's not fine. Wear your gloves. Safety first. But I mean, sometimes I just like ditch the duds. I'm just like, because you want to like feel the yarn, right? Anyway, so I was dyeing something yesterday. All day. It was a big dye day. I have had this colorway in my head since 2017 and never attempted it or anything like that. And I was like, okay, I'm going to try it. Shark Week. Terrified and fascinated by sharks. Love them to death. But like, yo, I don't want to be near one. It's kind of like a train wreck. Like, you can't help but watch. Like, I can't help but watch Shark Week. I love it. And so in 2017, when I like almost became a yarn dyer, but like not quite, I was like, oh my God, I was telling my family, like, I could do a Shark Week inspired yarn. And they were like, you're stupid. Like, that people don't want that. And I'm like, Turns out people do want it. I want it. So I was like, okay, I'm going to dye a palindrome, which, if you're unfamiliar, is basically just the same red forwards as it is backwards, like taco cat, right? Blue with, red and white on each side, or, whatever it may be. So, da-na-na-na, da-na-na-na, bop, 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 bop. Da-na-na. Oh my gosh. You guys. Okay. So in my head, I'm envisioning like when you're watching Shark Week and it's like they're looking down and it's like dark, murky, not murky, but dark. There's not a lot of light getting down here, guys. This is kind of the scary part. You don't know what's down in here. And then as it gets up, it's like getting like lighter and lighter, and there's like maybe a little bit of like kelp, and then it's getting into like the clearer waters, and I'll open this up in a second and show you. And then like super pretty clear water, and then here comes the shark. Here it is. It's like gray and some black on it, and then oh my gosh, so much blood. All the blood in the water. Horror is like my favorite genre. My favorite genre. And I used to be terrified as a kid of horror movies, especially Jaws. I want to say Jaws came out in like 75, or I was born in 76. So, obviously didn't see it when I was like a baby. But I remember the first time seeing Jaws, terrified. And I grew up in Southern California. I've almost always had a pool in my backyard. When I lived at my grandparents' house, I don't know, like for whatever reason, after going to the beach one time or after seeing Jaws, I was convinced that a shark could and would come into the pool up from the filter, like underneath me, right? Where like I couldn't swim fast enough to get away from it. And I was sure, and I'm still pretty sure, the way that I'll die is like shark attack. I mean, clearly, if I just don't go in their environment, that won't happen and I'm safe. Just a little fun fact, I don't know. And so I was like, how am I going to do this? Because obviously I have to make it as complicated as possible. Not as complicated as possible, but like as hard as possible, right? So I hand painted these, because why not? And now I'm going to open it up. Oh my gosh. So like I said, I dyed it like a palindrome. And so in the pan, I dyed it like this. Right? So like here is the dark waters, and then it's kind of like coming up. And then I wanted like, you know, to represent kind of like the shark, but also I was like, okay, with this skein, I want it to be red and blue, but I didn't want it to be purple. So if you know color theory, you know that purple and red make, not purple and red, purple and blue make red. And I'm like, how am I gonna, I mean, there's ways you can do with like, you know, using more acid so that it strikes. But if you get any kind of mixing of blue and red, it's gonna be like purple. So I was like, okay, well, put a little bit of gray right here to kind of separate them, right? So that if there's any like purple, it's sort of almost like hidden right here. And that worked pretty well because it's pretty definitely blue and red without being purple. I also didn't want it to be like 4th of July-y. It's amazing what you can do with dye on yarn. And then too, this is another one of those colorways where I was like, I have to dye this on Stardust, which is my Sparkle Lurex. It looks like the shimmers on the water, right? Like, I'll have some of these available in kind of limited quantity on the Sparkle. And then if those sell out, I will dye more this weekend on my merino nylon lavish base. But I don't have any more Stardust in stock until probably a couple weeks. So these will be available. I guess we're going into shop news. These will be available at prettytwistedyarns.com tomorrow, Friday, July 15th at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time. And it's going to be a sock set. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, if you don't and you have Instagram, just go give me a little follow. That'd be pretty cool. I was going to dye the minis, right? And I was like, Dave, who's my employee / husband, not in that order, but he's not my employee. He helps me do all the things. I was like, okay, I gotta dye minis, and so shouldn't they be like red and blue? And he goes, no, because like that's pretty basic. I don't know if that was his wording, but he goes, no, because Shark Week's about like education and preserving sharks. And I'm like, agreed. However, I'm pretty twisted. I do what I want, and I'm going for like blood in the water. So these are the minis. They're so pretty. Look at this guy. This blue. It just has like subtle like undulations of like a little bit of, I don't even want to say green, but like I don't know. You just have to see it. It just has little tinges of some. It's tonal, what I'm trying to say. And the red too. It's not solid, it's tonal. And I wanted like a blood red, not pink. Reds are sometimes tricky because they can look pink, but I'm just saying, do you want this? Yes, you do. Okay. My goodness. Okay, well, since I've moved on to shop update, I didn't even show you yet how it's knitting up. My goodness. Okay, so the reason I dyed it as a palindrome was because I was thinking, how do I want this to knit up into a sock? Because although, you know, yarn in any fashion can be used for anything, certain techniques are suited for certain projects, right? So something that's very like, dyed in color blocking is generally in a sock going to knit up in some kind of like spiral pattern or some kind of flashing and pooling, which I personally would love on a sweater. Not everyone would, which is why you should, even on a sock, if you don't like this, alternate skeins. But what I wanted, and it came out so good, you guys, was it to be like, you know, here's the shark swimming, and like, oop, here's the blood in the water. So I was so excited that it actually is knitting up how I wanted it to. And I look forward to doing a lot more dyes like this. Look how it just, I mean, it's just gonna keep doing that around and around. And then I'm going to do the blue for the heel flap and gusset. And then the red for the toe. Shark Week's not till the 24th, but in my world, it's almost Halloween, so whatever. It's all good. Okay, and I put it in a Stitch and Plaza bag with sharks on it. Because, yes. I'm gonna show you something else that got sent to me, and I don't think I showed this last time. My friend Amber, she's Ambi Knits on Instagram. Love her so much. She and Andy the Knitress have a little competition going, I think silently, or not so silently, between themselves as to who owns the biggest stash of pretty twisted yarns. Listen, I'm here to enable. I'm here to enable the knitters of the world. So it's fine by me. They can continue to have that competition. But look it, she dyed this. She knows my heart. You guys, she dyed yarn. Oh, it's so pretty. It is like neon, like fluorescent, but not like hurt your eyes fluorescent. I love it so much. It's all the pink. And she put a cute little tag and a little stitch marker. And then, girlfriend knows my heart. Knows it. Pink and green are my jam. She dyed it for me. And she goes, I want you to have this. And she sent a cute little note. That's just for me, though. I'm going to show you guys the note. And a project bag. Stop. Look it. It says knit, and it has cute yarns and scarves and hats. I might have showed that on my last podcast. I'll be quite honest with you. I don't always remember everything. I don't really want to look at my own face that much till I go back and watch my last episode to be like, what did I show? What didn't I show? Cool. So, here's what's going to be in my shop tomorrow, besides all what I just showed you. So let's do the like Halloween-y stuff first, okay? So we have Orange is the New Black. And I have this on my Shiver base this week. This is like 20 minis, but you know, so it comes with one of each mini. So it's going to be a sock set. I have a friend who I dyed a sweater's quantity worth of this for in Sparkle, and she's going to knit the carved sweater. It's like a pumpkin, a jack-o'-lantern, and I think I want to dye myself a sweater's quantity of yarn, and I'm like still debating like what color. Also, I know I have issues with big projects. Like if I cast a sweater on, I'm just like, I will never finish it. And then when I find it again 5 years later, I'll either be like 20 or 30 pounds lighter or heavier than I am now, because that's what happens to me. So I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I'll order some like worsted weight and dye it. Oh, but I don't know. The pattern I think is for fingering. But this is my Don't Fear the Reaper colorway on my Stardust base. Like, how gorgeous would this be as a Halloween sweater with like a jack-o'-lantern face? Because a jack-o'-lantern, it's not color work. I'm not sure what it is, if it's like knits and pearls or what, but a lot of people, I think, have knit the carved sweater. So I have some of this available in my shop. This is not mine. I'm not keeping this one just yet. But I told the skein witch, Alicia. Hi, Alicia. I was like, yeah, we can motivate each other, right? And her yarn is still drying on my drying rack, so I'm gonna send her order soon. So I gotta make a decision. Let me know in the comments down below. Do you think I should and could start and finish a sweater by like my birthday, which is October 27th? I feel like I would get no sock knitting done. I don't know. Let me know. Let me know. Last but not least, I have Semi-Charmed on Stardust. This colorway, you guys. It's called Semi-Charmed because it's only like semi rainbow and semi black. It's semi-charmed. It's just a little bit charmed. So not to be like cliche, but like semi-charmed kind of life. Like, listen, my life is not charmed. It's semi-charmed. Like, no complaints, but it's been a wild ride, right? Okay. Yeah, so I have Semi-Charmed. This is the Pretty Crazy sock set. I ordered ball bands that are bigger so that I can start putting my sock sets like together, but they're not big enough for this size sock set yet. So this is gonna come like this, but it's a set. I'm not doing them separately. This is a set, Pretty Crazy minis. This full skein is just called Wisp, and it is just a Dalmatian. It's just white with black speckles. So I will have some of that sock set in my shop. I will have sock sets that are, ooh, sorry, crinkles. Are we having funfetti yet? Ooh, glare also. Yeah, sorry, guys. Are we having funfetti yet? This one just already packaged up. Sock sets, full 100 gram skein, 6 minis. And I also have a few of just the minis, a few mini sets, 6 minis. I'll have 2 of these, like just a couple, because I had more minis than I had full skeins, but I will be dyeing more of this colorway at some point. I kind of just have been doing like dyeing kind of what inspires me, like what, I don't say like what I want, but kind of like I dye what I want, right? Here's another thing. This is a one of a kind. I have these sitting in my shop. I do not have a name for it because it's a one-hit wonder. It's a one of a kind. I wish I had written this down, but it's like pink and like warm speckles, but then also like some cool speckles, cool tones. So pretty. I might steal one of these for myself from my stash. I don't know. Perhaps. I think I have some other like one-hit wonders, which what one-hit wonders are either I did not write the recipe down and I do not remember any part of what I did, or using up dye. Like sometimes at the end of a dye day, or like I'll put all the dye in one pot or one container, and then I'll dip dye it, or I'll use that dye up on yarn in some kind of way at some point. So a lot of times I'll try to dump like colors that don't make like mud. It doesn't always work. Sometimes you get mud, but hey, that happens. Sorry, I'm thirsty. There was something else I was supposed to. Super Secret Society. Super Secret Society of Self-Striping Sock Knitters. Yeah, so signups are going to be August 6th, Saturday, August 6th. If that's wrong, I'll correct it right here. Saturday, August 6th at 12 noon Eastern Daylight Savings Time. Hopefully by then, I'll have it set up to be like a monthly recurring subscription, because I know that the people who know they want it, they get it every month, don't want to have to like set an alarm necessarily and like go and purchase it. So I can't make 100% promises, but I have been working, no, I haven't, not like, I have, a friend sent me a tutorial and a link to how to set that up. I just haven't yet. And I'm still kind of trying to decide like how many spots I can open up, because I don't want to open up a bunch of pre-orders like I had, and then that, because it's too stressful, right? Because so you don't know what's gonna happen. Like, you don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow, let alone, 3 months from now or whatever. I'm not gonna say the theme yet. Have I said that on Instagram? I don't know. But I have the minis already dyed. All the yarn is prepped because it is a self-striping yarn of the month club. And I know exactly what I'm doing for it. So those are getting dyed up this weekend. September's colorway, I don't quite have nailed down yet, but I have an idea of what I want to do. So this is just for one 100-gram skein of fingering weight self-striping yarn, and I have been doing the option to add a coordinating mini or not. So it's not really like, oh, this was what I want to say too. I had gotten some like custom tissue paper and custom like all this stuff, and when I went back and looked at the first month that I did all that, I was like, yeah, it was really cool and fun, but like it was so expensive, and I was like, everyone's just kind of really throw this away. So I've not been doing that because I don't want to raise the price of the club, because there's not really any extras or anything. It's the skein of yarn. Like, I want it to just be the price of a skein of self-striping yarn, right? So I hope you guys aren't mad at me about that. And, I used up what I have. So, like, I just don't want anyone to be mad at me about that. But I don't want to waste. And also, I don't want to, like, eat the cost. And I don't want to pass that cost on to you neither. So, we'll see. I think that's it. Also, like, I talk really fast. Guys, I'm aware. I'm aware that I'm a weirdo. I think you can, like, slow the video down. Maybe, so you can understand me better. I don't know. I know my family wishes they could do that in real life, but they cannot. They cannot. Gosh, I don't know. It has gotten way later than I had intended to be recording because, like I said, third take. I don't care. This is what's going up. It's going up. We'll see what happens. So, a quick reminder, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to this channel. It would really help me out a lot, you guys, and I really want to just get to 1,000 subscribers so that I can just go live, because for whatever reason, that's so much easier for me to do, and I would love to do, like, a dye. Like, hey, dye with me. Listen, if you're up for it, like, and you don't mind cats running around and a bunch of crazy chaos ensuing, like, it should be a good time. I love watching people dye yarn. I dye yarn, but, like, I support other yarn dyers so much. Like, I love buying hand-dyed yarn. And I love seeing other people dye yarn. Y'all, okay, so I said I was going to end this, but I guess this is another little thing. I have been following and enjoying so much a podcast on Spotify. It is Maker's Gonna Sell. It's Cheryl from Hypnotic Yarn and Nikki from Avery Lane Creations. I recently joined a business coaching group called Maker's Momentum Inner Circle that is hosted on Facebook by Nikki. You guys, it's so inspiring, and it's so crazy sometimes how, like, you will be thinking one thing you're stuck on or struggling with, and then you listen to this podcast and you're like, how did they know? I was just thinking about this 10 minutes ago. That's that kind of podcast. It's this kind of thing that, like, if you just need some, like, inspiration, follow Hypnotic Yarn, Avery Lane Creations on Instagram. The only time I've been going on Facebook is for this, like, Facebook group, because I'm not trying to juggle, like, multiple platforms. Like Instagram's enough, and I can sometimes get a YouTube video up once every 5 years. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna try and record more at least every month, but sometimes life, you guys. Sometimes life. Anyway, one of the things that Nikki has taught me this week for sure is that, like, show up your authentic self. Show up, be you, and your people will love you for it and be there for you. And I can't change who I am. I'm just kind of I'm a little all over the place. A little all over the place. But I love you, and you guys stay safe. There's sharks in the water. Oh, didn't tell you the name of this colorway is going to be, we're going to need a bigger boat. So yeah, stay safe, take care of yourself and each other. Until next time, I will catch you, check you on the flip side.